Volcanic eruptions happen when lava and gas are discharged from a volcanic vent. Volcanic eruptions often cause temporary food shortages and volcanic ash landslides called lahar. The most dangerous type of volcanic eruption is referred to as a glowing avalanche. Different types of volcanoes erupt in different ways. Geologists usually group volcanoes into four main types: cinder cones, composite volcanoes, shield volcanoes, and lava domes. Volcanoes erupt when molten rock called magma rises to the surface. Magma is formed when the Earth's mantle melts. Another way an eruption happens is when water underneath the surface interacts with hot magma and creates steam. This can build up enough pressure to cause an explosion. Composite volcanoes are some of the most dangerous volcanoes on the planet. They tend to occur along oceanic to oceanic or oceanic to continental boundaries because of subduction zones. Scientists use the term magma for molten rock that is underground and lava for molten rock that breaks through the Earth's surface. A recent PBS documentary identified Kilauea, on the island of Hawaii, as the most dangerous volcano in the world. A curious choice, in my opinion, for any rating of a volcano's danger must take into account both the intrinsic hazard and the number of lives at risk. Eruptions of Kilauea are certainly spectacular. The volcanic island known as Krakatoa is located in the Sunda Strait, between the islands of Java and Sumatra. At the time of its famous eruption in 1883, the region was part of the Dutch East Indies. It's now part of Indonesia. A previous major eruption, likely in the 5th or 6th century AD, is thought to have created Krakatoa and two nearby islands, Lang and Verlatan, as well as the undersea caldera, volcanic crater, between them by 188.3. Krakatoa was made up of three peaks: Perbawatan, the northernmost and most active, Danan in the middle, and the largest, Rakata, which formed the southern end of the island. Krakatoa was last thought to have erupted some 2 centuries earlier, in 1680, and most people believed it was extinct. But in May 1883, people reported feeling tremors and hearing explosions, first in western Java, and reports started coming in from ships sailing through the busy waterway, including the German warship Elizabeth, whose captain reported seeing a cloud of ash above Krakatoa stretching some 6 miles high. Things had quieted down by the end of the month, though smoke and ash continued to emerge from Perbawatan crater. Like all volcanic eruptions, Krakatoas can be traced to the movement of the tectonic plates that make up the Earth's crust, which are constantly moving against each other over the thick liquid layer, or mantle, beneath. Indonesia is located at the heart of a so-called subduction zone, where the Indo-Australian plate collides with part of the Asian plate, Sumatra, as it moves northward. Natural disasters and the environment, such as climate change, the San Francisco earthquake, Hurricane Katrina, the Galveston hurricane, the Krakatoa eruption and others, have profoundly shaped human history. What happened after Tambora is that there was 3 years of climate change, he says. The world got colder, and the weather systems changed completely for 3 years. And so you had widespread crop failure and starvation, all from Asia to the United States to Europe. Volcanoes near the equator can cause global weather changes if their eruptions are powerful enough to release gases into the stratosphere. This gas gets trapped since it is too high to be washed away by rain, then travels along the equator and spreads out toward the poles. This decreases the amount of heat that passes through the stratosphere from the sun. This doesn't just affect whether you should put on a sweater or not, it has profound effects on the ecosystem you live in. With Tambora's eruption, cooling temperatures led to decreased rainfall, failed crops, and mass starvation in many parts of the world. It's difficult to know how many people died because of starvation conditions, but the death toll is probably about 1 million people, at least, in the years afterwards, Wood says. If you want to include the fact that Tambora unleashed the global pandemic of cholera, then the death toll goes into tens of millions.
Series of explosions. The only danger this vent could pose, other than the obvious erupting lava, is that sections of it will occasionally collapse before being rebuilt.